Okay. So in previous class, actually, we learned about what is polymorphism, right? So now we'll be learning what is an Java inner class. Okay, this is one just a small concept which you will be learning. So what is an inner class? Java, that is nothing but an like kind of nested thing. Okay, so I'll be showing in practical thing. So first we'll just go with the definition which they have been given. So in Java it is also possible to nest a class. See, the class inside a class within a class. Okay, it's nothing but a class inside another class is called as nested class. The purpose of nested class is to group a class that belongs together, which makes us code more reliable and manipulated. The like how it will work, I'll be telling you, so you don't need to worry about that. To access the inner class, we will be creating one object, and then we'll be creating one object of the outer class, and then we'll be creating using the reference of object reference of that, and then we'll be giving for the inner class. So I'll be showing this. Okay, so I'll be telling you the proper thing in the example. So for that I'll be opening an Eclipse. That is, I'll be opening an Eclipse. It takes some time. Yeah, we'll launch the Eclipse. Yeah. Okay, okay. So this was the definition which I told. Okay. Yeah. So here we'll be creating the new package called as inner class. Inner, that is inner class. So we'll be doing that inside. So I'll be taking one class called as outer outer class, and also another class, that is inner class I'll take. So see, what is the statement we have been gone through here? It is possible to create one class inside another class. In the sense, what is that first line means is, it is possible to create one class inside the another class. So I'll be creating class, this should be in smaller case, and I'll make this as inner class. Okay, so here what I have done, so have been created the outer class and the inner class. See, so that only if you will get confused now. So for that only I have given the class names as inner class and outer class. Okay, so this one I'll be taking one variable for inner class. Int x is equals to 10 I'll take for example, and I'll also give here int x is equals to 5. Okay, so when we are having inner class, how to access this variable and how to access this variable I'll be showing in this example. So for that I'll be creating another class called as main main and here I'll be taking main method over there. So usually we used to create only the class, we used to create like this now. For example, that is outer class, right? Outer class of out c is equals to new class, sorry, new outer class. This outer class we used to create the object like this, right? So but if you want to access the inner class object, so that is if you want to access this inner class variables or methods or anything if you which you want to access, so what we will be doing is, just I'll close all this. Okay, so what we will be doing is we'll be creating an outer class dot inner class of in class is equals to that is equals to, so we'll be taking this object reference dot new, that is new inner class. So this is how we will be creating here, because if you take the object reference only you will be able to create here. Okay, this is one way of calling the inner class. So I'll just print it, that is what my inner class dot y, I'll take x and I'll make this as x and y so you will not get confused. Inner class of y plus, and I'll be taking the outer class dot, that is we'll be giving an object out c dot x. Okay, now if I print it, see, it is, you are getting the value. I'll be printing this separate and I'll show. That is inner class value is equals to inner class value is equals to nothing but I'll give plus and in of y. Okay, the same thing I'll copy, I'll paste it outer class outer class value is equals to out. See, I think network issue is there, so okay, are you able to see now? Okay, so see, now you will be getting an outer class thing. Okay, so whenever you want to access the inner class, that is whenever you want to access the inner class data or method, anything which you access, no, the inner class data, first you should create an object for. So I'll write a comment here. Whenever you want to access the data of the inner class, you should first create a object for outer class. So even you might have an question that without creating an object class, can't like object of the class cannot, why we cannot do? We can also do using the static keyword. So it'll be telling you that, so don't worry about that. Okay, so the next thing here, what is the example which they have been given? Okay, here also they have been given the same example. Okay, see here also they have taken an outer class and the inner class, that will be taken by the another class called as main. So over there first they have been created the outer class thing, and here they have taken my outer, and for the inner class they have taken the reference has my inner, and to create a object of inner class they have taken the reference of, see this is the reference of outer class, they have taken the reference of outer class and they have been given over here. Then later they have used a new keyword and they have been created the outer class object. Okay, so they will be accessing this both the things. This is for inner class and this is from outer class. That is what which I have been like run over here. See, I'll print it. See, this is the inner class value and this is the outer class value. Right. So you came to know how to create if there is any inner class value is there. So nested, if you want to use any nested class now, you will be creating the objects like this. Okay, so you will be creating the object like this. So just get me a minute. So this is done, right? The same thing, suppose what if there are many, see suppose if there are many inner classes, okay, that is, suppose there are many inner classes, okay, this is, I'll make inner class 1, inner class 2, inner class 3, there are many multiple inner classes. At that time, what, suppose if you don't want to access the value of this, that is inner class, okay, so at that time what you will be doing is, you will make this as private. So you already know the private keyword, so whenever you make this as private, you will not be able to access. So the same thing that is over here. See, unlike a regular class, an inner class can be private or protected if you don't want outside object to access the inner class, okay. So if you don't want to access any objects or anything which is of the private class, you will be making that as private, this class as private. So see, they have made this as private and declare the class as private. See, they have been declared the class as private, that's it. And if you try to access the private class from the outer class, it shows an error, so it will throw an error, nothing but this one is just a note, okay, for your reference I have given here. So just we will try it, what it happens. So I will remove this so you will not get confused, okay. I will go here, I will go to the main method and I will run it. See, it is showing an error. Type of outer class object dot so on, it is showing an error, okay. So you will not be able to access. Suppose if I remove that, I'll be able to access. See, I'll be able to access that, whatever the thing it is inside. See, I'll run it. See, I'll be able to access, okay. So any doubts? So you already know the private keyword, private. So this one I'll comment it. So I'll write a comment here. If you make a class that is inner class as private, you will not be able to access it outside the class. Yes, any doubts? Okay. Yeah. So where was I? So if you make any inner class as private, you will not be able to access this, okay. So you were not able to access this inner class. The same thing which they have been showed here, okay. And over here, see, So I told you, no, suppose like if you don't want to create any object for the outer class, and if you want to access directly, so you can do this. Okay. So use of static inner class, that is, an inner class can also be a static when, which means that you can access it without creating an object of a outer class. So that's what it means. So I will show you one example. That is, see, if I make this inner class as, I'll take off private, I'll make it as, see, static. So what they are telling, just we'll check. See, now have been commented both inner class, this is outer class, outer class plus inner class, so that only have been commented. Okay, plus inner class, this is outer class plus inner class. Okay, so that only have commented, and the same thing, this is outer class, outer class, so have been commented. Now I'll copy only this line. Just a minute. Oh, okay. Now what I'll be doing is, I'll be creating just outer class dot inner class. So like this I'll be creating, so I will not be creating an object of outer class. Okay, so this is how you do. See, now I'll be getting the only the value of the inner class, so I'll be getting the only the value of inner class, I'll not be creating the outer class. Okay, outer class object, so I don't need to create an outer class object when, see, when I create, when I make this class as static, that is, see, I'll give when we make the inner class as static, we don't need to create a outer class object. Okay, so when we create, when we make the inner class as static, we don't need to create an object of an outer class, or else we need to create an object. So suppose if this is, see, suppose if this class is not a static, we need to create an object. Okay, see, at that time this line will not work. Okay, at that time what I will be doing, I'll be using this one, that is this one, and I'll be making it as, I'll be using the object reference, that is outer class dot new, and then I'll be accessing. Okay. Yeah. So then I'll be accessing. See. Okay, now you are getting the output. So if I make that class as static, if I make this class as static, then I'll not be using this. Then I'll not be using this line. See, it is showing an error. So I don't need at that time to create an object, and this one also I don't need, just I need this line. Okay, so directly I'll be creating an object of an inner class. So this is just a small concept, so you might get confused. Okay, then here is some note which they have been given. Just like static attributes and static methods, a static inner class does not have an access to the members of the outer class. Okay, the same thing. See, like whenever you make the methods or attributes as an static, like it will not be any, you will not, no, there will not be, like you don't need to create an object and all, no. So like that only, similarly it is for the class also. And the next thing is access outer class from the inner class. So how you access something from outer class to outer class in the inner class? Okay, so how to access? See, this is how, what means, what they are saying, they'll be accessing something from outer class to the inner class. Okay, and from inner class to the outer class. So there is one advantage inner class is, so that there is one advantage of inner class is that they can access attributes and methods from the of the inner class. See, I'll show you then example, the same example only I'll show you. So here what they are telling is, I'll come down, and here also this class, I'll comment this, I'll comment this, I'll take class inner class, I've created a class. Okay, so inside this inner class, so I'll be giving public int my inner method. So I have been created one inner class method that will return the x value. So see, I will be able to access the outer class value. This is nothing but the example of accessing. So this is nothing but accessing the outer class variables inside the inner class. Okay, This is nothing but accessing the outer class variable. See, this is the outer class variable. So this is the outer class variables. So okay, don't get confused. See, this is the outer class variable. I have taken only one variable because you will get confused. So similarly, if I do anything over here, this will be the inner class variable. So already I have been told the scope also, right? So I think you will not get confused. So this is the inner class variable. Suppose I'll take int y is equals to 10. If I take, this will be the inner class variable. Okay, this will be the inner class variable, and this one is the outer class variable. Okay, so whatever you write outside the thing, it will be outside the inner class variable, that is belongs to the same thing. So you are creating the new class, and inside this two brackets which you are writing, no, that will be include as C. Between this and this, if you write, that is of this inner class. Okay, so don't get confused. So I'm printing x. Okay, I'm returning x value. So I will call this over here. So how I'll be calling get? So I'll create an object. I'll uncomment this. So this time I need this one. Okay, the class name has been changed, I think so. Yeah, I'll change the class name. Now you will not get an error. It was not in capital. The C was not in capital. So now what I'll be doing is just I'll take one SYS system print statement, and I'll print it, that is my okay, what is the object name which I have been given? Reference name dot my inner class method. So if I print this, see, I am getting the output called 10. Okay, so 10 was the value being given for the outer class. So these are some scenarios which I have been telling. Okay, nothing more than that. Just you understand this, the concept of the inner class. So whenever you are creating the inner class, so what we will be doing, first we will be creating an object of the outer class, then we will be doing. So see, whenever you are creating an inner class, you will be creating object for the outer class, then you will be creating for the inner class using the outer class reference. That is what I have done here. So okay, this is done. So what you should notice, so this one I have already written. So any doubts in this of inner class and outer class? Hello? Huh? I didn't get you. Yeah, okay. So I'll be ending the session now, okay?